The sun is a variable stream, a gentle waking at dawn, a fierce surge at noon, and a slow fade at sunset. But this compressor is a hungry beast that doesn't care about the time of day. It needs a massive kick to start. To turn sunlight into ice with PV2Com, we need a buffer that will start the fridge and also bridge an hour when a heavy cloud covers the sun. Let's build that interface. Hi, Norbert here. I'm energy engineer, and in video number 139 I show how to make the impossible possible. Running a compressor fridge on a simple solar setup without the system crashing. In the last video I explained the idea. Here I will try several things and show it to you. This video is part of the PV2Com series, the direct conversion of photovoltaic solar power into commodities like ice, clean water or heat. In this playlist we explore how different electrical consumers require specific interfaces to work reliably on dedicated PV panels. This is a series of practical exercises in engineering and tinkering, testing what works, analyzing the failures, and finding the most cost-effective path to energy independence. Let's start with the schematic. This is the final scheme. I tried several other things like a supercapacitor and car start booster. The experiment. I bought a connection wire with a 12-volt car cigarette socket on one side, battery clamps on the other side. Very easy to connect every camping device with the battery. The clamps on the battery, the socket to receive the plug of the fridge. And the result. This was a failure. The fridge clicks but will not start. And the explanation. The voltage drop, that is V is equal to the resistance times the current, tells that there is too much resistance, too long wires, and your 12 volt becomes 9 volt before it reaches even the compressor. You can push 15 amperes through a drinking straw wire, and 15 ampere was about the peak current at start, as you see here. Now there is an exception, one place where I can use flimsy wires, and that's between the PV panel and the brain, in this case the SmartSolar of Victron. It's an MPPT device. Between the PV and the rest of the installation there may be a long distance now. I use only 3/4 of a square millimeter wires. Why does this work? Because the MPPT transforms 24 volt from the panel down to 12 volt for the fridge. And the MPPT transforms the PV current of 1 amps to nearly 2 amps, which is enough to charge the battery, and it is also the average current of the fridge, because it works in on-off cycles. This 245 volt panel might seem like a waste of PV service, but it's a trade-off that allows me to produce ice even during rain. The 245 volt panel costs less than half of the fridge, and even that is a reasonable price for what this fridge can do. Now we go to experiment number 1, about the short breath sprinter, or the supercapacitor. The hardware is 500 Farad 16 volt supercapacitor pack, and the result is that the fridge starts instantly, but a little bit violently. You hear really the toom sound. It gives more than 10 amperes during 1/10 of a second. With these 500 Farad we have muscles but no lungs. The cost and the complexity. A good supercapacitor pack for 16 volt costs over 200 euros. Otherwise you must buy 6 supercapacitors for 60 euros and make the equalizing system yourself. See my supercapacitor playlist here. Now let's explain. This supercapacitor pack is a sprinter with zero stamina. It starts the race perfectly but collapses after 60 seconds. It seems so much, these 10 or 15 amperes, that drop the voltage so little. But if we talk about the time of a cloud before the sun, this supercapacitor will soon be depleted. There's no comparison with the energy in a battery. I want to refrain from battery in this playlist, but here's an example of a device that has quite some items on the wish list. It's this fridge with a compressor. It makes several starts every hour and must keep working during solar pauses. So let's give it a buffer for a few hours. And this small 12 euro battery can do that. But for the night, let it work with its own ice storage, keeping to our principles that we want to store other things than only electricity. If you're finding these tests useful, make sure to subscribe. We are now building a whole library of these interface solutions here in the PV to commodity playlist. Also consider the additional video and a PDF for the deep divers. It explains the technical details, it tells which type of panel and solar charge to use, and also how to choose the fridge and the battery. Now we go to experiment 2. Here we talk about the tired Victron. So here we have an old salvaged 7 ampere hour UPS battery. The result is that it fails. This old battery has a high internal resistance. The voltage sags immediately under the 15 ampere starting load. Now we have a hybrid idea. If you combine this Victron with the supercapacitors, you get a perfect team, because the Victron provides much more capacity than the sprinter, and the sprinter handles the kick. That saves the old battery from being discarded. I want now to go to experiment 3, and that's about the picky judge. And it is the new, small lithium ferrum phosphate battery. The hardware is an 8 ampere hour lithium battery of 12 volt. And the result? Well, the first start failed, but only the first start. And why? The BMS, or the battery management system, which is inside the battery, detected the high current surge and shut down. But the second start and all starts after worked with the SmartSolar, providing a 2 ampere boost. It's a small help against the 15 ampere surge, but perhaps enough to keep the voltage above the panic threshold of this BMS system. Or maybe another possibility is that on the first attempt, fridge internal capacitors were pre-charged. I don't know, but anyway, it started after the first time, always. So the conclusion about this lithium battery, it is sophisticated but sensitive. The advantage is that it can be deep charged, and also that it's very light. Now we go to experiment 4. Here we have the raw muscle, or the new 9 ampere hour lead acid. So we just replaced this old lead battery with a 16 euro AGM battery. And the advantage is that it starts every single time and costs half of the lithium battery of the same size. And the philosophy here is that there's no BMS, no battery management system to judge the current, just raw chemistry. Lead batteries are designed for high starting currents, and for this combination of panel and fridge, it is, I think, the winner. But on the second place, a little bit lower, is the lithium battery, because it's performed also well and it has more capacity. And now, this is a funny thing, the Experiment number 5, it's the street start or the car jumper bonus. Well, what do? We show the emergency booster starting the fridge. And the result is, it doesn't work because the smart booster detects that the fridge is not the same as a starting motor and it finds it suspect. So what's this device? This jumper, this start booster, is a high current lithium battery with intelligence to test the situation. It's great for emergency in your car, but not for this case. It also has a limited lifetime and a high cost. And then you have also another type of charging this. You cannot charge it, I think, in the same way as that it gives. It has a special 5 volts charging input. So I don't want to bother you with all these details and I just put it aside. Now, what is here the strategy? It is the PV2Com strategy, so the PV directly making ice. And so I welcome you to Iceland. We are talking already about all these combinations of PV and the device as solar islands. And in this case we can call it also an Iceland. So what's the matter here? You can produce ice in the fridge or just cool it to +3 degrees to keep milk and fruit fresh. You set the temperature and it obeys. But if you make ice during the sunny noon hours, you can move that ice to a passive cool box to keep food and medicines cold all the night. And that's the heart of the PV2Com, storing energy in a commodity, not just always electricity in batteries. And the conclusion of this video. So we have a large panel, an overdimensioned panel. We have a SmartSolar charger of the battery with a MPPT function. We have a 9 ampere hour small battery of lead or also of lithium. And we have thick wires on the 12 volt side. This is a good solution, simple and also affordable. Another note for the mobility is a panel. If you are in a country with less sun or many clouds, you better take a big panel on 24 volts, even if the fridge is 12 volts. See the extra video and PDF in the description. For sunny countries, also a small 12 volt panel is okay, and it will power this efficient fridge much better than one of the 50 euro fridges that work on solid-state Peltier coolers. I will tell you in another video, an extra video, and in a PDF if you want to know more and if you want to build this. This is already available for the deep divers. See the description. Engineering is really about solving the interface problem. Once you master this for a certain commodity and its production process, the sun stops being a variable and starts to be a factory. Remember what I say in this playlist. Harvest the sun when it is available and store all the things, the commodities that you can make. Electricity and batteries are only one solution. There are many more. In this playlist PV2Com, you will see grow an incredible portfolio of possibilities. Join the movement. Subscribe in order to follow all the PV2Com experiments, which I am now starting to make video after video. And write in the comments what commodity should we produce in the next videos. Water as gravity energy or water as drinking water, hydrogen, compressed air, hot water or preserved foods. And share this video, maybe with someone that is struggling with his or her life in a van, or which is interested in an off-grid setup. And lastly, support yourself and also me. Look at the link in the description and discover how to build this yourself. Choose the right components and put it all together. It's really too much detail for this video. And I dedicated a lot of time to discover the do's and the don'ts of this technology. Help yourself and also allow me to dedicate my full time to develop a host of other PV to commodities possibilities that will make you independent. For this week and for the whole summer, let's now focus on making ice and store it. You can even bring the frozen bottles to bed during a heat wave. In 2 or 3 months only, you will sweat and remember my words about producing ice with the sun. I wish you good energy.